Well, hi and welcome to my shop, and I'm glad you could join me. We're going to take a look at this radio, and once again I'm starting with pretty much zero information about it. So look at it. Whoa! Big slider here, designed to have dirt fall into it. These buttons aren't much better either. The top down is going to allow dirt to get in through there. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's pretty noisy. Tuning's tight, but it feels good, you know, it doesn't feel bad at all. It's certainly not loose. It's pretty good. Ooh, what's with the antenna? Oh, yeah, it's frozen like that. So there's the on-off switch. Okay, well let's just plug it in and see what happens. Now for this little radio, it takes almost no power to operate. My restriction doesn't restrict much at all from a little radio like this. My power restriction, light bulbs. But I will use them just in case there's a full short in here. We would be protected from that. So switch is off, power's on, and let's see, it's set to AM. Here we go. And volume up. Oh, 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 oh. Can't say I'm hearing much of anything here. Volume down. Okay, this seems to be the proper cord for it. Sometimes these cords, often these cords have switches built into them. When you plug the cord in, it operates a switch that switches off the batteries. If the switch doesn't operate, sometimes you can't get it to operate from power. For sure we're plugged in. Here we go again. Oh, it's still on. Turn the volume up. Not much happening there. How about FM? I think I heard a little tiny pop come out of the speaker. Oh yeah, it's definitely making some sounds. Just holding it up to the microphone there. So, turn it back down. Back on AM. Turn it up. Okay, I can actually hear that. In tune now. Doesn't seem to be picking anything up. Okay, and we'll try FM same way. Sounds exactly the same. Faint hiss. And the only sounds I hear are little tiny clicks and pops when I touch the metal parts on the radio. Well, okay, so much for hearing that this was working. Ah, yeah, I thought this was just going to be a cleanup job. Man. Well, we'll take a run at it and see what happens. Let's see if we can loosen up this antenna before we break it off. screwdriver's too big. That's too big also. That's too big. Holy smokes. Get down to a screwdriver that's too small to apply the torque. What's going on? Even this one won't go in. Well, I'm not sure I got a sharper screwdriver. This is my sharpest screwdriver, so let's try this. Okay, so that goes in. Oh boy, get my hand out of there. Huh. That is really, really stuck. We'll put a little bit of WD-40 on it. Some other stuff too. It's not quite under the same pressure. I can get more lubricant right onto it. There we go. Let that sit for a bit. Now, screw there. Let's see. Screw here. Here. Yeah, foam is still foamy. Takes 6 batteries in there. It's in good shape. I don't see any. Well, there's a screw back there, but you can't get that one out without having this apart to begin with. So. Looks like most of that stays behind. The cabinet slides off. Pop those screws out and see what happens. Screw is loose. It's a longer screw. Longer screw on the left side. Longer on left. Good luck remembering that. Now, is that all it takes? 2 little screws and this thing's ready to come apart? Surely Clearly it's not that easy. Wow, well this does not look like it can, it just doesn't look like it's going to slide apart like that. Yeah. Yeah, we're stuck already. It's just I'm not getting a grip on this. I mean, that's all it is. You don't want to stick in tools and start prying at things. It's one uniform piece of plastic has a seam going right around it, but I'm sure that's a welded seam. Well, maybe I'll just take a moment, go on the internet and just see what I can find out about this radio, just in case. All the answers are there already. Well, I couldn't find too much out on the internet, but I did see some photographs, including photographs of one model up from this, looks identical, with it out of the case. So it must come out the top somehow. So I'm thinking just a little bit of persuasion is required here. And see if I can figure out where to apply the persuasion. There's one spot. It's not being persuaded at all that way. It's getting persuaded there. Yeah. Kind of gooky. It seems gooky. If it's glued in there, like somebody drip pop in there or something of that sort. It's coming. Yeah, don't like that sound. Comes. Oh man, it's like giving birth to a baby. Easy does it now. Nothing rash here. Oh, let's don't put the handle down. Okay. There it comes. Ugh, what was that? was a process in itself. Okay, so let's look this over a little bit here. Got a very large antenna in there. That's a very long piece of ferrite. It's a spider web there. It's a spider nest. What's that? Stuck on the spider. This is not exactly sure why that tape is there, but it is. There. Maybe there's something inside the cabinet. No, it's all plastic through there. There's a fuse. There's a fuse in here. Now we did hear this make a little bit of noise, but sometimes, you know, just touching a metal part releases enough charge between the radio and yourself that you can get a sound out of the speaker even with it not plugged in. Just a tiny, tiny little click. It could be there was no power in this radio at all. So why don't we check the fuse? That would be a smart idea at this point. For sure. Take it out. Oh. That's never happened before. I have to get down and give you a close-up here. I don't dare put this down. Yeah, something. You never know what's going to happen. There's... Hey, where's the other metal end of the fuse? Well, it's still down there. I pulled the fuse completely apart. But other than the pleasure of doing that, I don't think there's any consequence to it. It's obviously a junker fuse now, but I think it must have been good. There you are. We'll just stick it back in. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. We can't be sure that fuse was good, but boy, I think it would just come right apart in two pieces if it was blown. I can't imagine it would be like that, but there's so many things here I feel sure about that I know from experience. I just better not be sure. Better not be feeling sure. Well, I'm not going to see anything particular on this. I can always hook up my DC power supply. Why don't we do that and see if it'll run off the battery? The battery input. This is a pretty old radio. Now, some parts appear to have deteriorated badly. I don't know what I'm seeing there. Take a look at this. Okay, so what I'm looking at, this capacitor here, this one here. They've gone funny. I don't know how to describe it exactly. They've gone sparkly. Come on, camera, can't you focus, please? Focus. Give me some focus. So, I don't think I've ever seen that before. And this one over here is also in a similar state. There, now you get a good look at it. Isn't that kind of weird looking? And the answer is yes, it is really weird looking. I guess that's another one right beside it there. It seems to have gotten fused to it. So things aren't looking so good in here. I guess if we lift the speaker out, we'll find a bunch more issues under there too. 'Cause I'm gonna have to guess these capacitors are shot. Not necessarily, but yeah. Well, let's hook up the DC supply and see what we can get here. Okay, the supply is off and the output control is set to 0. So we go just trying to figure out which end actually feeds into the radio. I think it's this end down here. We will know soon enough. It's going to come right off. Not much to clip onto there, that's why I'm having this difficulty. Okay, just like that. And that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 batteries, and 9 volts is what this is really aiming for. And just double checking I have negative to negative, positive to positive, yep, because I don't want to get that backwards. The switch is on, the volume is down. Power's on, we're up at 7 volts. I better push one of these buttons here. Hey, look at that. The antenna's moving. Ooh. Okay. Volume down. Let's push the one that says AM. Get that fuse out, but I imagine it doesn't matter right now. I can hear it. Huh, how do you like that? Let's put it on FM, volume down. Say how you like that, because I can hear a little bit of a buzz. I couldn't hear that before. Same buzz. AFC. It's not looking good for this little radio. Well, that's an interesting thing right there. That's very interesting. Let me show you what I just spotted here. Just kind of luck of the draw. What do you make this out to be? Now, to be a little more specific, if you're wondering what am I talking about, let me get my favorite pointer here. Right here. Right across all three of these traces. Look more from here. I think the story can be told pretty easily. What I see here, when I look at it, as I'm here looking at it with my 3D eyeballs, it's pretty clear. There's a crack right through the board, right to where this nut is, which is probably the cause of the crack. The strain from this, and this would be a strain point perhaps, with the boards either side of this flexing in a different way, like this is a fulcrum in the radio. So as you carry the radio around and put it, set it down in that, the board bends across this point a little bit, opening up that crack, which someone else has pretty clearly worked on. I mean, it's pretty clear to me. It'd be clear to you too if my camera would only focus here. Look at that. So I think the cracks have just opened up again. So I'm guessing if I solder across all those, it will be back in business. Let's check it out. Man, I don't know. I consider myself lucky to find something like that. This is not your everyday stuff. Oh, you know what? I can give you a real good ringside seat on this, I think. Yeah, why don't I do that? Okay, so the focus is going to drift around a little bit while I'm doing this. Which is always the case with that camera. I'll just restore the connections across there. You can see it much better on the screen than I can with my own eyes again. Oh. Make sure, just turned off the radio there. Actually, looks like a short right there. Right here. There. I'd say there was a short there. Okay, they're all bridged over. Now, is there any more of that on this board? Some other spot it's cracked? I don't see anything. Wow, let's see if that works. Man. Okay, we'll plug the power back in. volume down. Ooh, that would have been a moment of excitement there, I'm sure. Switch it on to AM. There we are. I think that's AM. Yep. Volume down. Power stayed connected. Oh, surprisingly so. Here we go. The radio's on. Power coming up. 7-8 volts. We're about 8 volts now. That buzzing sound is my power supply. That sound you just heard change, that's the power supply. I turned it up a little higher, 9 volts. Okay, so let's try FM here.
People were coming up to have their books signed. So many of them were sharing their stories.
Beautiful.
About their ancestor.
Excellent. Okay, so that was the problem with the radio. Wow. Man, I gave this almost no hope. Shame on me. Works like new. Fantastic. So, what do we do next? Wow, you know what? Let me turn off the power before I have an unfortunate incident here, even though it's only 9 volts. The adjustments are all waxed. Most of them anyway look waxed or painted in place. Yeah, I think I'm just going to leave those as is. It's working. What am I going to do to it? Wreck it. Excellent. Excellent. So, it's all a question now of just cleaning it up. Fantastic. So, here, I'll give you a good look at it. Here. A lot of dust all in here. It's not doing it justice. This metal here isn't shiny the way it should be, or at least the metallized plastic there. And the rest of the case needs a good cleaning, and I think it's I'm not showing it to you. I think I could dunk this. I don't think there's any problem with doing that. Some kind of clothy material behind this, but I don't think I'd worry about getting it wet. Excellent. Next time you see the radio, it'll be in one piece and looking nice. Well, here's the finished radio. There it is. Looks pretty good. Polished up nice. Let's hear it. Okay, I think I have it on FM.
To Rwanda and the marking of a anniversary.
The Devils and Jets host the Wilds. 2 teams left in the NCAA men's basketball tournament tonight.
And AM. The usual AM down here. I never even tried shortwave. Oh, there's something. Shortwave. Around 7 megahertz. Better off up around here. It's definitely working. Very good. So, pretty happy with how that came out. And what a lucky break. You know, it kind of reminds me... No, it doesn't. I was going to say, it kind of reminds me of that Sony I did, the 2001. Yikes, that was a scary guy. This one really well. So there you are. We'll see you later, because I got more radios to do.